Welcome everybody to the Newbury Recreation Committee meeting tonight. Tonight is January 31st, 2022. I'd like to hear a motion to call the meeting to order at 6:04 p.m.
Motion?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's get started. Roll call members present.
David Dempsey.
Celine Muldowney?
Mike Volpone.
Lucian Dinsmore. Mark Sand.
I'm waiting to hear the latest on David Broll and Alicia Greco. Cynthia Curry from the Council on Aging did let me know, unfortunately, she's not able to make tonight's meeting, so. Mark sent the meeting's minutes from November 4th. I apologize, I got them late, I didn't get a chance to read them yet, so we'll bring those in the, I don't know, did you take minutes at the last meeting?
Oh, I think so.
Then we'll do them both at the next meeting. Correspondence, and I don't have access to the internet. So I know there's an application in from Flag Football, Seacoast Flag Football. They are looking to join for the spring, as is Triton Youth Lacrosse. I haven't heard anything else regarding to soccer or to rush yet.
I think they put
If they did, I may have missed it. So been a little busy the last 6 weeks. I apologize in advance for the late cancellation in the early part of the meeting earlier this month. So,
it's Triton Lacrosse.
yeah, it was Triton Lacrosse. I thought so. Other than that, bills and claims.
So we have two sets of bills. In December, I paid the myrep.com, so that was a big one. That was for the calendar,
It's like 25, 29, something like that.
$29.95. And then Gmello was a small balance. And then January, Byfield Water and Townsend Oil.
Clarification on that real quick if I have to throw it on. Any questions? Okay. I'm going to suspend the order because of the two different groups that are here right now. Deborah is from Triton Music Parent Organization. My kids were involved in Triton Youth plays in their organizations for years, so.
Can I come sit with you?
You want to come sit with me?
I'll come sit
Come on
with
over,
you.
ladies.
And then I'll go sit with Patrick after.
Maybe so you keep you company.
All right. If you'd like to come talk to us about your request,
Go get them. I just got stuck to my jacket. Awesome.
if you'd be so polite to give us your name and your address, please, for the viewing audience.
Certainly. Deborah Marinello, 24 Dexter Drive, Rowley, Mass. And as you said, I'm here as the president of the Triton Music Parents Organization, or TEMPO. And I am here to request the use of the Mantress parking lot for Saturday, March 26th, for the majority of the day, likely from about 11 in the morning to about 8 o'clock at night. That day, Triton Middle and High School is hosting a winter marching competition. We've hosted it, this is probably our 5th or 6th year running. It is a competition that is sponsored by the New England Scholastic Band Association, and happens all indoors, happens within the high school, and we will have somewhere between 25 and 30 schools coming from around New England. They all come to Triton and they perform, I'm not sure if you're familiar with winter marching, but think drum corps, think marching drum corps, and think winter color guard, which basically is a dance team with flags. And they do a fabulous job. Lucian actually used to be part of our winter percussion team. And this year, we usually use the back parking lot for buses to come and actually, the buses usually park in the back parking lot at Triton. I don't know if you've been in the back parking lot at Triton recently, but we still have tents out there and a variety of other things, so we no longer have the use of that parking lot. We do have, we'll have both school buses as well as equipment trucks, so box trucks, like a 36-foot box truck could be the size of something that we would have bringing equipment to the school. And we need a place to park them, since we can't use that particular parking lot. So what we would like to do is have either the buses or the equipment trucks, I'm not sure which one, drop off the students and the equipment at the school, and then go and park in the parking lot in the entrance field for the day. There will likely be, like I said, about 25 to 30 either equipment trucks or buses kind of coming and going throughout the day. I do plan to have someone stationed there. I'll have an adult stationed there, likely a dad. I don't know who yet. Maybe you'd like to volunteer. And that's the plan. So I was hoping that you might be able to approve that request this evening.
Any questions? I personally think we've been helping out all the different organizations. I don't have a problem with it. I don't think we're gonna have a schedule conflict because before the season starts, we shouldn't have anything. From a cost standpoint, there is no formal procedure or policy in place for the parking lot that I'm aware of. Mark, can you correct me if I'm wrong?
No, there's nothing scheduled for the parking lot.
Okay. So if anything, we did with the last group, it was $6 an hour for the thing, and then it's a question whether we want to do that or not. So if you're talking 11 to 8, you're talking 9 hours, $54.
I could afford that.
Is there any kind of document, since you're doing it for consideration, that you have to fill out?
The application, did we do that?
I haven't filled out an application,
Okay.
no. Just point me to it and I'm happy to fill it
Yeah,
out for
I
you.
can get you the application.
That would be terrific, thank you.
Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I have a couple. Does your organization have its own insurance?
Do we have insurance? We do have insurance, yes, we do. Thank you.
So in the application, just include that with it, that would be great.
I know.
I don't think they wouldn't need the Cory for that, or
No.
anything like that, because it's only for the equipment they're putting over and that's it.
Right.
No one's gonna be over there other than individuals watching the area.
And how would people be getting from, I know you're parking the buses and the vehicles there, would somebody stay with the vehicle, or would somebody be coming back to Triton to watch the activities?
They'll likely be staying with the vehicles. That's actually part of what we still have to figure out. We may have a shuttle go back and forth, possibly have a shuttle go back and forth. Mindy might be helping us out with that. But I would rather actually that somebody were there just in case the
Well, you have
trucks.
the one person, traffic coordinator, for example,
Yes.
and then the drivers of the bus, would they stay with their bus?
They would likely stay with their bus, yes.
Okay.
Unless for some reason they needed to come back to the school. If they did, we would have a shuttle for them.
Okay. Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
As a courtesy, we have the building open, so if they need to use the facilities, because I don't think the porta potties will be up by then,
Oh, that would be great.
then, you know,
That's an excellent,
as a
idea.
courtesy, not as a, fee for
As a
service, but
bus
just,
driver, that's awesome.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much for the suggestion.
because the building's there, it's not being used, and they can meet and all that.
Wonderful, thank you.
DPW.
Would you mind reaching out to James just for that day, March 26th?
I'll talk to you about that in just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, we will talk, but the other one is to
Okay.
coordinate with the DPW to make sure it's plowed or it's ready to handle, that they don't have anything planned going on.
Okay, terrific.
Um,
Happy to do that.
But yeah,
God only knows what March 26th could be around here.
Really.
It could be
Sure.
sunny and 70 or frigid and 10.
Exactly. We've hosted the show in both weather. Both of those.
you know, kudos to the DPW for their work to keep that parking lot plowed in a very timely fashion. So if there is snow, we would let them know that there would be buses coming in, so it gets hopefully put up a little bit higher on the priority list,
Great.
so that can happen.
And you're asking me to coordinate that with the DPW?
No, we will talk to
Oh,
the
you'll do that.
DPW
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
and let them
Thank
know
you.
what's happening, and that the building if we could have the building open as a courtesy.
Wonderful, thank you.
We just keep the first gate, so if you're looking where the field house is, that first gate,
Mhm.
that'll still stay closed, you'll have the whole front, we just won't open the back section, that's
Okay,
all.
and that
Which should be more than enough room, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Any other questions? So, can I have a motion to accept Tempo's request? They will file an application as soon as I send it to them. They'll pay us $6 an hour. We will notify DPW about the field house, also about the being open and making sure the area is all set. You're handling all the transportation
Yes,
and the shuttles and stuff, so.
yes.
Can I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
Do I hear any other discussion?
Do we need to charge them the $6 if they're not using the fields? They're just.
I have no problems in not charging them the fee. I just wasn't sure where it was. We haven't finalized that piece yet, and it's a Triton group, it's not a specific town, Newbury Byfield.
Yeah,
That's the only reason why I was thinking
okay.
that we may need, just to keep things consistent. I don't think it's too much,
It's not too much.
Okay.
It's perfectly reasonable and acceptable,
Okay.
and thank you.
so just make the, when we do it, just make the check out for the town of Newbury. Other questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Opposed? You're all done.
Excellent, thank you so much.
I'll send you the application either tonight or tomorrow.
That's great, thanks so much,
Cool.
Michael, I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations on being a scout leader now.
Thanks so much.
I'm gonna shift to old business and go back to, Troop 44 Eagle Scout Patrick Sasso, who is working on his Eagle project for the flagpole. Patrick, come on down.
Thank you, Patrick.
I don't think he has much to worry about, maybe.
Hello everyone.
Can you just please just give us your name, the troop information, and where you're located, your address, please.
My name is Patrick Sasso. I'm with Troop 44 out of Newbury, and I live on 28th Street in Newbury.
Okay.
I'm here today to update you on the progress of my Eagle project. Last time I visited you, you told me to contact Mr. Surratt from the DPW, and though it took a while, I was able to talk to him on replacement and the lighting situation of my pole.
Okay. So the current plan right now, and please, anybody ask questions, because, I mean, we've kind of started before we got on, but I'll repeat it. Projected time frame, how long you're gonna need to be there, and I know we had a question regarding lighting that we had talked about there, but I want you to relay it to everybody here, please.
I plan on starting the project in the last week of April, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be done within 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
When you said last week of April, are you looking at a weekend? Because that's when the fields are gonna be in use, or after school time?
I can push it up if I need to, but I'm planning on doing it on a weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. Can we coordinate to make sure any type of holes or any type of material is stored safely so that, because we're gonna have kids there with soccer and lacrosse and maybe flag football, that there's not an open hole that kids find.
The hole should be dug and filled within the same day if all goes according to plan, but if it needs to be, I'll make sure the proper safety procedures are in
Just
place.
grab some
Make sure-
plywood and something just to kind of secure the area, to make
Yeah.
sure it's all set. Any equipment need to be, any heavy equipment that'll be on the field itself?
I do not believe that we will need any heavy equipment
How
on
you,
the field.
how you taking care of the whole,
An auger.
I kind of figured that's what was kind of. Now, you're talking a truck auger or an individual, like a handheld type thing? that you-
Handheld
Okay.
auger as well.
I wasn't sure how
Yeah.
deep you were going, that's why I don't know the specifics, I was just making sure.
Mr. Went has one that goes on his tractor, would that be against the law, against the rules here?
I don't think it would be, as long as it's not, if you're gonna be on the field, we're just concerned, if you're gonna be in the area right by the field house, we should be okay. We just gotta make sure, how far, when you were talking to Mr. Surratt, did you talk about how deep you were gonna be in the location, and was there any concern about foundation or?
The location, so looking at the field house from the front, we're planning on putting it to the right and about 30 feet forward. He said he didn't see any problem with putting it there, but just to contact Dig Safe just to make sure there's no electrical or plumber lines.
That was the one question I was wondering,
So
so.
is that before the path?
So if you were coming from the parking lot in the past, like right here, the fields are here, the field house is here, are you on the right or the left?
Right, I think.
Okay, you're gonna be on, towards the house,
Yes.
field house, okay. We may wanna just duck out real quick sometime, just let me know, we'll coordinate and go out there, just to make sure I have the space where you're looking at. As long as we're to the right of the path, no, it's on where the field house side is, we should be okay.
Yeah, it's in front of the field house.
Okay,
My only suggestion is on Dig Safe, give them plenty of time. Don't call them like a week ahead or 2 weeks ahead, make sure you give them plenty of time, because they are pretty well backed up and they do take a while to get there.
Okay.
just from my own experience.
So what was the decision about the lighting?
So on the side of the field house, there is a floodlight, and Mr. Surratt said he didn't, if it would work, he didn't see any problem with using that light. And if that doesn't work, he said he didn't see any problem with using a solar power light at the top. He said that the light pollution shouldn't be any problem for the people in the surrounding area.
Okay.
Anybody else have any other questions? I think you're good. Just let me know, maybe not this week, but the week after, just let me know when you got a few minutes. We'll swing by and we'll coordinate time just to check the spot.
Yeah.
But let us know what dig safe you come back with too, okay?
And I just wanted to say I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it very much. Anybody else say any other questions? If not, you're all set for tonight. And I look forward to hearing, because I'm really looking forward to this project. It's going to be, I know you'll do a great job. I have all the faith in the world in
Those Eagle
you.
Scouts keep coming and doing some great projects up there.
Yep,
Great,
very happy. So, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right,
thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you.
and I just was confirmed, we do not have to wear masks as long as we're socially distanced. I just got that okay. So that's why I kind of slid to the right a little bit, so nothing personal. If you spray, you don't have to wear it, it's your call. If you want to wear it, you can, but I'm trying to keep my distances, because one is hard to hear on top of everything too, so. And Alicia's not making tonight, she does not have in her calendar, so we'll rework that up, but she didn't let me know the other thing. All right, back to the agenda. So the Fieldhouse security update. David was working on that, so we're gonna have to table that till next month. The canoe and kayak update. Mark, I'm not sure what you were able to do. I know I talked to Jack or Vicky earlier today. He said there's a Concom meeting tomorrow, and there'll be a lot of updates, so we'll probably get more next month.
Yeah, we're meeting with Capcom again tomorrow.
Cool. Sounds good, sounds promising. The Fieldhouse and basketball court policies, concessions on groups on weekends. I have not heard back from, or unless someone else has heard back from the groups the same who wants to run concessions. Other than that, we need to kind of get into the policies. I'd kind of like to table that just to get through the rest of the agenda. We can get to that at the end, if that's okay. Under new business, we talked about tempo. The next thing was proposed to change the name of the field area. It is currently listed as Mantor Field. I did speak to Jack or Vicky this morning. He called me. The only thing he had asked, if it was possible, instead of being Central Street Fields being very descriptive to a certain area, where we're trying to branch this out, make this like Central Street Park, something that's more encompassing, because we do have the courts, we are doing the bridge, we are looking to do the canoe launch and all that. It may be something like that. That was just his offer. I actually like it. I think it's a very good option to throw out there. But again, please, I mean, let's kind of throw out thoughts on whatever you're thinking.
Central Street Recreation Facility or something like that.
Can we just back up two things? Number one, again, as I said back at the October meeting, I don't think it's in our statement of charge that we should even propose a name change. It's a Board of Selectmen decision, and as I said at the other meeting, it should be, personally, it should be the town people making the name change. Be that as it may. The actual name of the property is the Central Street Recreational Environmental Resource Area. That's the whole, encompasses everything.
There wasn't anything done, and I'm only asking because Jack had told me this morning, 10, 12 years ago, that they had brought it, the rec committee had brought it to the select board, and the select board made that decision.
The select board named one area called Mantor Fields, plural, not possessive.
Okay.
And if you look at the sign, the sign at the parking lot that still stands there, it shows where the fields are, it doesn't show the whole area.
Okay.
So the whole area is identified as the recreational resource, the Central Street Recreational Environmental Resource Area, to sort of include, it's more than, it was more than fields when it was originally planned. There'd be a lot more passive recreation activities available to people, and it also serves as an environmental resource of buffer zones, but most of that property is not developable.
We've all been having this tonight, it's getting back in the swing of things.
You can't do much with it other than passive work. So to change a whole, to try to rename the property from what it is, to Central Street, blah, 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 is sort of redundant. To name anything Central Street is fields, Central Street playground, or what was he saying?
Park.
It's sort of redundant because it's already the Central Street.
It's just the other thing's a little bit of an, if I looked on the internet right now and I put in Central Street, what am I gonna get? Am I gonna get the facility?
Well, that's for our IT person to push that kind of language.
I agree that and I said this to Jack this morning, that I thought the idea of the townspeople making the decision is the right one, because it shouldn't be left up to us. We can certainly make recommendations saying, here's some options, but we wanted to figure out what's going on. But what's everybody else's thoughts?
I was trying to Google it, but I'm not on the server.
I'm not either, that's why I would have done it.
Yeah,
I'll do it on my phone.
But do either of you guys,
Was there mention of doing like a census or something, or like a?
there was a comment about it. I don't think we decided we were gonna go to that point yet, but it's not that we can't, it's just, there's the idea that everybody feels that they associate that with Manta Field or something else, and we're just trying to find something either official that's not a tongue twister that we've all been dealing with tonight, or something else. And it was brought up back in October that someone had recommended us doing this. And so all I did is I put it on the agenda to discuss it. And we made that discussion back in October, as Mark said. And it's a question of where we want to proceed. Do we want to change the name? Do we want to recommend this to the select board with our options, or just bring it to them and have them make the decision and put it on the ballot type of thing?
I think, in my opinion, I think that and Mark, I understand that there's an official name out there, but the official name is not very inviting.
Great.
And I think that's why I'm saying, if you were to go to and say, and use the term park, it's a much more inviting term, and it's probably, it's certainly more inviting for families and people to know that there's a recreational there. When you start talking about environmental, development areas and things like that, it really, I mean, that's a resistive, statement.
It's not as welcoming.
It's not as welcoming. It's not, certainly isn't inviting as far as, bringing a family in there and saying, okay, there's several things we can do here. So, if that's the purpose of changing the name so that it becomes a more inviting environment, let's say, I think then I think that's the direction we should go. But again, I think it's basically should just be a recommendation to the select board to say, this is where we're coming from. If we're looking to change the name, they're the only purpose to make it a more inviting site.
And also a little bit more clarity.
Right.
So there's not a
So
question
people
about
can
this.
find it.
Yeah.
Because right now, there's like 2 names floating around. So I just looked it up. Some people are using Manta Fields and some people are using Central Street. So it'd be better to have one cohesive name that everybody knew what to look for.
Right.
However we go about that.
David Broll also apologizes, he had something come up at work. So it sounds like the avenue that we're looking to go down is make a recommendation or a couple of recommendations to the select board and then present it to them with our reasoning. Am I misunderstanding that?
I think
Okay.
That's
Is that correct?
yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like, one that has been brought up is Central Street Park. Does anybody else have anything they wanted to suggest or to bring up to them? I mean, granted, we certainly can sit and have the conversation with them and go over it.
Let's see what some synonyms for park are.
Then, again, let the record stand that I don't think we should be even having this conversation, but that we are. The Central Street Recreational Complex, because eventually we'll be getting more passive and active recreational opportunities out there. So it still connotates the recreation, but there's stuff out there. Park means, hey, let's bring our dog. Let's do these other things that we're saying you can't bring your dog to the fields. And people are gonna have a hard time with, but.
Unless one of the ideas that's been floated around or had been mentioned was a dog park. That's part of the thing.
I was gonna put that on our next agenda, now that I have a puppy.
Oh,
It's just a question of.
How about recreation area or something?
Areas like
Recreational
kind of-
commons.
Huh?
Recreational commons. One word.
I'm trying to Google synonyms of park, and it's not very. Parkland,
Hmm?
municipal park?
We have a number, we have the greens, upper and lower greens, going to parks.
I'm just throwing out what's out.
No, but that's what this is for. It's discussion to kind of get an idea of where we stand.
Public park? Parkland, grass?
I don't know if we can consider, and this is more of a definition, can we use public where we're charging fees?
Well,
I don't know if that
it's still
is-
public, you just have to get a
Yeah.
permit. Anybody can use that property.
Yeah,
Priority gives to permit holders. So if you
Yeah.
have a permit, and the reason you have a fee attached to it is so that people just don't use up take a permit and not use it,
mhm,
like we've complained about. So we can call it public, but sort of, yeah.
There's not a lot of options.
okay. I have Park, Commons, and Complex, Central Street, of course, preceding all three of them. We'll throw them out, see what they say. I will ask you to put on the agenda for one of the next couple of meetings, depending on when I get in. Schedule-wise, it's not like the world's gonna change if we don't change it right away, but I will try to see if I can get on, and then just, to be honest, I don't remember who even brought it up. I'm trying to think, but I'd have to go back through my emails
Is
to
it
see.
David?
It
Was
may
it
have been.
somebody from outside of the committee?
It may have been him. I actually think someone approached him about it, so I'll have to touch base with David. Because I know I want to make sure I have the origin of the situation.
one of the, if you look it up, and I just put in Central Street Park, Newbury, and it basically lists it as Mantorfield is a business providing services in the field of park. That's what it says.
But please don't get it confused with Newbury Park out in California.
No, this is Newbury, Mass,
Is
because
it
then
still
it
spelled
has
the
the
same way?
address.
Or is it B-E-R-R-Y?
No, it's still
Okay.
spelled the same way, it's right next to Thousand Oaks. It's
Yeah.
actually an unincorporated city in the town of Thousand Oaks.
No, it says, this here has the address 81 Central Street, Newbury, Massachusetts. It does say the business is located at 81 Central Street. So for some reason, if you look it up in that nature, it comes back Mantorfield's 81 Central Street, Newbury, Massachusetts, 01922 USA. And it just says Mantorfield is a business providing services in the field of park. The business is located at 81 Central Street, Newbury, Massachusetts.
And that's what the buses and the trucks will be doing, park.
Right,
So
right.
we're doing our job.
But people were saying that they were having problems with that address. It was almost bringing them down the street before or something like
To
that.
School Street, to
Oh, that little-
Abby's dad.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
That
that's in
little-
there too.
But the long driveway there?
yeah.
Yeah, right before, yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have been saying, that the address was, when you put it into Google or whatever the website is, was taking them down that street.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I was like,
We're
okay,
not taking
Maybe
it down,
we should
they
use that
go
for
past
delivery
it and
then.
use it to turn around.
yeah, they could have
Come
been,
back,
yeah.
because you do go by.
It is confusing the way Central Street runs. How it looks, it becomes
School
School
Street.
Street and Central Street actually veers off towards your house.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Okay,
And then somewhere along the line turns to Elm Street. Out by where the entrance of the school is, isn't
Yeah, School Street's just like the connector between.
it? Right, exactly.
I don't love Massachusetts. All right, I'll bring that over. I'm gonna touch base with David just to see if he can give me some background on the name change. What was the origin behind it? if I don't have a time or anything set before our next meeting, I'll update you on kind of where we stand. Spring applications I had already talked about real quickly, was the Triton Youth Lacrosse and the flag football, the two that I had listed. I have not seen anything from Rush or New England
Triton Youth Soccer.
and Triton Youth Soccer. The flag football is gonna be, the question is where do we put it? Because the only spot, they need a 70 by 30 area, and the only area that we thought that would be possible was down, if you're coming out of the field house, looking down to the right where the road goes on the back side, right where those signs are, there's a section down there, but the problem is discussing this with Jason DeRocha from Triton Youth Soccer, the field's overcarried into that, and there wasn't enough room, and they were worried about the crossover. So, it's a question of, do we give them the field at that point?
What the application, are they looking for 5 days a week, 1 day a week?
Let me see if I can pull it back up. I apologize, without having the internet, I'm kind of stuck on this one here. Actually, they need, well, it worked out the yards wise, it was 70 by 30 yards. They were looking for Saturdays.
All day?
I'm trying to see if I can get the latest. It's August. Oh, here's his
Who
new
has
application.
Saturday games? It's,
Youth
Space.
recreational youth soccer, TYLA, or TYSA,
okay,
and,
lacrosse is Sunday.
so, yeah, and, club soccer is Sundays as well.
Okay, so just, so maybe we can squeeze them in.
It's funny because his application was a little vague when I looked at it. I first saw it. It just shows start date of 4/23, end date of 6/23. He put it in for field 1, but he didn't put in days of the week. Yeah, I think the last email he said was Saturdays. Yeah, so it only sounds like it's just Saturdays, the only thing they're looking for.
Yeah, but how many hours? What hours, and that's just how many, but what hours?
Right, we're gonna have to get a confirmation on that, it sounds like all the Saturdays, but it only sounds like it's for 14 teams,
How many kids is that?
about 7 to 10 a team. So you're talking 140, 150 kids, ballpark. I will reach out to Jeff and see if I can get a little more specific regarding to the Saturday times. If it's an all-day thing or if it's only for a short period of time. If it's a short period of time, we can probably work around it.
Yeah, if we're looking at one field for 14 teams, assuming they're taking a whole field per team, maybe 2 teams, it's gonna be at least 5 hours. And an hour of practice.
Are they looking for it for practice, or are they looking for it for games?
Games.
So if you have 14 teams, you're gonna have 7 games going on.
That's if they meet unless they're on the road or something like that.
Right, unless they split and go half on the road and half at home.
Their games are on Saturdays?
That's what they had listed.
So I thought their games were on Sunday, and they're allowed, what, 1 or 2 practices a week?
Alright, just send me an email, see if you can catch, if I'll catch, he's usually pretty good about responding, if not. No way. Oh, laptop came back already. All right, so, and then Triton Youth Lacrosse has always worked with the soccer programs, but just, we're gonna probably have to wait till the next meeting then to vote on these applications. As of right now, we have one that's incomplete, one that is complete, and the other two we know we usually get hasn't been received yet, so.
When are they due by?
We should have had them,
Oh, they were already due.
it should have had them a couple weeks ago. So it's a question of, I will reach out to the other two organizations as well and say, where are your applications?
No internet.
I know, I wish it was working before. The only other thing I have then, tempo, proposed name change, Winter Field. Oh, take that back, I have one more email. I received a request by Michelle Abram. She would like to know if she can park her mobile coffee truck on weekend mornings for sporting events at the field. It would kind of hurt the other group's chances of doing any concessions, but they were just talking about morning, mainly just to sell coffee.
Do concession stands usually have coffee?
Concessions
In
do,
your experience?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's for parents.
It's been a while since I've done a concession stand, I had someone there. For an outdoor thing in the morning, some of that, it would make a lot of sense, because these kids are out there like 8 o'clock in the morning going, so I can see it.
I don't know what other events she does. I haven't seen her at the other events. I do know that she does some of the equestrian events around. At one level, our fieldhouse policy, concession policy, was having them work together so there's not a redundant of services. But we have no takers at this point. So
Yeah.
would that be considered, would we consider her running the concession?
I guess I wonder, I mean, that seems great, but what other food trucks then are gonna come out throughout the day? Like, but does it set a precedent that then we end up,
I mean, you're talking a retail organization
Or we
that's
do it
here
as-
for a couple of hours, I mean, if we do the same, we treated that the same, and granted, right now, we don't have the option, because we don't have an application, we have no policy in place for the parking lot to do something like this. But if they were doing retail numbers, you're talking $15 an hour for 4 hours, I mean, $45, I think they'd make that up in no
I mean,
time.
I think we would do it as kind of like on an experimental basis, and just a pilot kind of program where we see how it goes.
I think one of the ways that we could possibly do this would be to offer it to the groups that she's available for that, and they can contact her and make the arrangements, if we're gonna say it's okay for her to be there. That way, if groups are gonna have the concession stand themselves, and they really feel that that's gonna be an impede on their profits, they can decide not to invite her during their times that they're there. But if they're given the opportunity, given the information, then if they don't wanna set up the concession stand, they can offer her that opportunity to come and be there while they're there. I just think that if we're gonna present to these groups that you're gonna have available a concession stand, and then all of a sudden a coffee truck pulls up on the same days that they're planning on starting their concession stand, that might be a little bit of a conflict.
I will email the 4 groups, Triton Youth Soccer, Triton Youth Lacrosse, Rush, and Flag Football, considering right now they're all being considered. I will email them all and ask if anybody's got a desire to run the concessions for the spring. If they do, we have an option as if they either want to do coffee on their own, or they can work with a coffee truck to bring it in, and you guys can coordinate that. And I'll give them 3 weeks till the next meeting.
Yeah.
To either decide yes, no, and at that point, if they come back with no, then we can bring Michelle's offer back to the table and say, we have not heard, no one has an interest. Then the teams all have to work around them, that at least gives them a time as an option.
Yeah.
My assumption is that she has her permits from the Board of Health. Because.
So she's already doing stuff the other places.
I'm not an expert in this area, but that is public property, so that she is able to set up there, just like an ice cream truck can move along the main streets, as long as they have their permits and sell ice cream, right? We've all had the ice cream truck go by the house. And nobody's telling the ice cream trucks, you can't be on the public road selling ice cream.
Right, I
So
think-
if they're all, you're talking about being up front or actually in the parking lot itself?
Even if the parking lot, she's on the public land, I don't know if we can say you can't be there, it's public space.
I think the difference is that an ice cream truck applies to have a route, a moving route.
Okay.
I think once you talk about having a food truck or any type of a food vending truck that parks in a specific spot, that's a completely different set of permits.
So what I guess I'm saying is we need clarity from the
Yeah, I was
Board
gonna-
of Health before we make any type of.
Or legal to say, because what's the difference, and I'm asking, what's the difference of is that being public land to the basketball courts, to the fields? Where they have that, where those are all permitted areas, do we have to incorporate the parking lot as part of the policy to encompass so we can do permits?
Could be.
Okay,
I-
I'm asking, again, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure this out.
I do know when they have Plum Fest on Plum Island, and they allow the food trucks to park in the 2 municipal lots.
Yeah.
That's a special permit for a special day, for a special event. So, that is a food truck on public property. So I do know they have to apply for that separately. Now, if she was gonna come and do it every Saturday, that would be how she would have to apply for the permit, to have a Saturday permit. And
She was looking for weekend mornings for sporting events, so
Right.
she's talking probably Saturday and
So,
Sunday.
and so she would just have to put that in her application.
Yeah.
And then the town, the Board of Health in the town and the town itself is what it's
The
like.
town referred it back to us, is that's why I brought it up today.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I would
yeah.
go and I would defer right now to get the information from the Board of Health, what is
Okay.
required to do this before we take any steps.
Yeah.
And then once we get information from the Board of Health, from their perspective, then we can start looking at how and if we wanna continue this.
And if they know her, if she's done events in the town, it'd probably just be but if not, they're gonna wanna inspect the vehicle and inspect all of everything that's involved.
I'll send an inquiry out, I'll copy the group and just send it out and saying, we've been approached by this application, I'll forward her email over to them and say, do you have a question regarding this, or we're trying to figure what's the best way to approach this regarding to.
What's the town's policy?
what's the
I mean,
policy.
it doesn't matter what we say, if the town has a
Yeah.
policy, and if they don't, they need to create one that we would then be able to piggyback into.
Yeah, because right now, like I said, they referred it back to us, so. All right, the last thing on the agenda that we had was the policies for the field house and the basketball court.
Which we can't bring up on our computers.
I'm just gonna say, we got no access. Is the Wi-Fi out in the?
I have
We can
no-
sit in our cars, just kidding, just kidding.
I don't plan on bringing this thing any farther than I have to. I have the document, I have the last one that we worked on, which had been 1/29 of 2019. And it says it clearly, this is a working document only. And it's a mission statement, the field house, restrooms, community service, the community space and concession areas, field house reservation policy and process, field house general rules and exceptions, playing fields, all that. So we just need to adjust that piece of it.
Can I make a suggestion? I'm a visual doer.
Because I emailed this to everybody already, but I know we don't have access right
Yeah,
now. So we can, if we need to,
table it until the next meeting and then
okay.
everybody bring a hard copy to work from.
Yeah. Give me 1 minute, let's see if I can find out.
Latest version of this doc. I have it from. Yeah. I think I even have it in Google Docs. But I don't know.
And I just heard back from Jeff, he said he's pretty quick on this stuff. 8:30 to 5 on all Saturdays during that time frame. So for 8 Saturdays, He's looking for 8:30 in the morning till 5 o'clock.
Does everybody have this copy, or do you want me to email it to you?
Email it to everybody, and that's what we'll work on. Is that the one that we started a while ago, but it also has some field policy incorporated in it?
I just,
What was yours titled? Did you change? I don't know if you changed it. It says, mine's entitled last version of doc. This includes prices last updated on 1/29/19.
yes, that's the one I have.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Dempsey, Lucian, I do have you, and then, I'm sorry, Council on Aging was Chris,
Cindy
Cindy.
Courier. Let's make sure I got it.
Field,
Yeah, their email is, or her email.
I have it.
Okay.
I don't know when this will send.
Okay. So the next question is gonna be then is when are we gonna hold our next meeting? I don't wanna do it right away, Nick. I mean, we need to do it soon because we need to get together on this stuff. Next week's the 7th, the week after that is the 14th, so we'll be doing it on Valentine's Day. After that's the 21st, which is school vacation. I'm not sure if I'll be in the area. I'm still finalizing things.
Well, do we have to do it on a Monday or Tuesday?
No, but I'm just looking at the calendar right now. The Tuesdays are all booked all month. The Wednesdays are the only ones available is the 9th. Thursday, all but the 17th are available. And we can't do Fridays because they shut it down. So does anybody have a problem date-wise and other than Mondays next month? Because I don't really think we should be doing it during the school vacation week unless something changes.
Well, I see two things. One is, we are supposed to get notification out for the field rental.
Mm-hmm.
So if we had a meeting and we came in and we just did just that, it's over with. And because that's what our documents say. We need to close by this date, we make a decision shortly thereafter, and it's done. And instead of waiting till March to let people know that.
Oh, no, that's what I'm talking like in the next 2 weeks. I didn't want to have to wait. But really, the only things that really we're gonna bring up during that meeting right now will be any feedback we got from the Board of Health on the truck, the policies, and the
The
applications.
two policies we're working on are the field house and basketball court.
That's correct. We wanna add them to the existing playing fields
Right.
and field house.
What's the week of school vacation, the 21st?
Yes.
What about the 16th?
They have, it's virtual. The planning board's meeting is virtual, so we technically could be here. I just looked at it. I saw planning board, then I saw virtual, which is Wednesday. Hold it. I'm not dumb enough to do that.
Is that
Give me a
right?
second. I gotta check one more thing. I got a board meeting that night. I can't do the 16th. Sorry, I'm juggling 3.
What about the 10th?
That'd be Thursday the 10th.
I can't do Thursday. I mean, you can do it without me, no problem. Thursday I have other obligations.
Okay.
Okay.
You're not getting off that easy.
Thursday is my one commitment for my dog and myself.
Oh, that's okay. So we don't have one the 7th?
One is not scheduled. That'd be next Monday.
I have it in my calendar, just just because
Actually, I have another meeting already that night.
I have it as a
June.
recurring.
Yeah, because it was originally supposed to be the first Monday of the month, but I knew we were already in the hole and I didn't wanna wait beyond it, so. But I already have a meeting next Monday and Tuesday.
Well, what if we just did the approval of the applications, and that's what, and if we have stuff for, the coffee truck, and just leave it at that? We're not, the policy's gonna take some time.
Oh, it's gonna take some time, you're right.
So why are we trying to fit everything in? Just come in, I mean, I've been meetings in this town, and you come in, and it's 6 minutes, everything's done and passed and done, and it's over. Don't like taking that amount of time, you know, out of the night, but it's done, and
But we
we'll
also
fill
gotta
our-
be careful too, because if someone all of a sudden came in and had questions, granted, it shouldn't be, but we gotta be
Our
prepared for it.
application process has been written out,
Yeah.
people know, here's the open date, here's the closing date, and we make a decision based on that. We can't just,
We need 48 hours, so the soonest we could have this meeting is Thursday, the 3rd. We can't, I don't think we can meet on Fridays, because I don't think the building's open late
bill
Fridays.
isn't open, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Well,
It's only
town
my-
hall is not open,
yeah,
You can't do Thursdays.
but if that's all you're doing, you don't need me here. If you're just doing those two
but we
things.
like having you here, Mark. No, so the question is either the 9th or 10th next week. Oops, wrong one. The 9th, I'm open, I'm okay on the Wednesday the 9th.
I can make it.
I can be here the night.
Celine,
I can try.
do you want us to back it up a little bit, or 6 o'clock better, or do you want us to move?
No, I put it in, I just have a bunch of stuff going on that day already, so.
All right. I was just saying, if it's easier to make it a little bit later, a little bit earlier, we'll
But
work
if
it.
it's the same thing as him, if you have a quorum and it's just to approve applications.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna
I
try and
mean,
make the time to start going through that handbook, like reading it.
if anybody has any questions, I mean, I'm gonna send an email out again, I'm gonna copy everybody. I'll send it out to all 4 groups, make sure that I have all the specifics of applications and all this stuff in. And then we're gonna make decisions on the week from Wednesday. I'll have the updated agenda out tomorrow. So that'll be all set. It's just the truck and the
What 4 groups are you looking at?
Triton Youth Soccer, the Rush, Lacrosse, and flag football.
And Sphinx.
If I haven't heard from Sphinx yet,
I know.
I will email him though. I have his email. I can reach out, answer his question. I said, here it is. I said, we need it, and that's what I'm saying. If we got all 5 groups, that we're gonna make decisions at this meeting. I said, if you want to be here, that's why I mean it could turn into a little bit more there. It's just a question of how do we go about making the final decision. Because I want everybody to have the opportunity. I don't want to shut someone out. And I look at certain things, and it's just if it's one day Saturday, maybe we have to make concessions working around and stuff. It's just making sure that the field isn't going to get ripped up with their using cleats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's why we were trying to propose the very end, because it's not an area that's used. It's more of and it's just a small crossover, according to what Jason was saying. There wasn't enough. You have to have so much room between fields.
Yep.
And I'm like, so you have a little bit less on this one area, so, and this one day, so. Who has,
This actually says that the application period for the spring season is March 1st.
That's an old one. 'Cause we had it back.
That's the one I just emailed you,
Yeah, that's.
let me check the website thing, because that's the only one right now that's technically valid.
Well, that's why when you said the
No,
other
what's
2
valid
haven't
is
got
the
their
one that's been
applications in
approved,
yet.
and that's on our website.
That's what I'm going to the website right now.
Okay. And I believe it was middle of December 1st it opened up, ended on the 15th of January, and February 10th or so, we were to make a decision by, something like that. Because that's when the youth programs will be getting their schedules for the upcoming year.
All right. All right, I've got the spring season. according to the website, the revision from 4/9/2018, town IT policy, it shows spring season, application period opens December 1. Applications due by January 15th. Permits issued by March 1st. So the applications should have already been received at this point.
That's
So,
not what I'm seeing.
so I will confirm with all of them saying, I need your applications in the next couple of days. We're voting next Wednesday, we're making decisions next Wednesday.
I'm not seeing that.
Playing field permit,
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Facility
looking at-
permit
I was
policy.
looking at summer, not spring, sorry.
you can
After
submit
this
one of these.
weekend storm, I'm agreeing with you, looking ahead to summer is a good idea.
I'm 100% behind that,
You know what, cause this thing had it in a different,
Format.
yeah. Alright, so the plan will be right now is, I'll get the emails back out, copy everybody so they can see it, tell them we need their applications unless I missed the soccer ones. That we need everything done and in by Monday, next
the
Monday,
7th.
Monday the 7th, or at least no later than noon Tuesday, because I'm gonna put it on the agenda and then we'll just make sure we have all the applications. Talk about it Wednesday. Is 6 still okay? You guys?
On which day, the 6th? The
No,
9th?
the 9th at 6. So that'll be our next meeting. So the only things on the agenda tonight will be the application process and possibly, and I'm gonna put it on there for the food, the coffee truck as well, because if we get the groups in here, we may be able to do them both all at the same time. But that'll be included in the email saying that we've been approached by someone, we wanna do this, but I have to wait, that, I'm gonna reach out to the Board of Health, and I will copy you guys on that email as well. It's not a good face, this one.
I'll figure it out.
Okay. Any other questions? Do I hear a motion to adjourn at 7:01 PM?
Motion adjourned at 7:01.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I
Approved. Meeting's closed.